All right, we got the last game of NBA Legends.
Retire with fanfare, farewell tours, and celebrating titles. Some retire with injury and bad performances, and some play their last game not knowing that this was their grand finale. These 10 NBA legends have won a total of 49 NBA titles.
Damn.
And 142 All-Star games. Here are their last games in the NBA. Shaquille O'Neal. Towards the end of his career,
Yeah, Shaquille, but I ain't gonna lie, Shaquille, bro, you started going from teams to team. You should have just retired, bro, and that's it. You feel me? But hey, he's all good though.
wasn't really in the best shape. Which
Yeah.
limited his production on the courts. He averaged just 9 points for the Boston Celtics in his final year, fighting through injuries that allowed him to play just 37 games in the regular season. Even though he wasn't fully healthy, Big D still wanted to play in the playoffs, and he got the opportunity in the second round against the Miami Heat. He played just 3 minutes before his Achilles gave out and effectively ended his Hall of Fame career.
Damn.
Shaq didn't even score in his final game. Michael Jordan.
He's all good, man.
Most people retire once, but MJ did it 3 times. The first time in 1993 after his 3rd title, the second time in 1998 after the Last Dance, which proved not to be so last after all. Realizing that retirement is not as fun as playing NBA basketball,
Facts.
MJ was ready to lace him up again in 2001. He wasn't Air Jordan anymore, and he couldn't fly on a regular basis, but he was still good enough to average 20 points per game in the final 2
That's
seasons
insane.
he played with the Washington Wizards. However, once he broke 40, it was time to retire for good and let Father Time keep his undefeated record. Speaking of records, the Wizards didn't have a good one, and they were outside of the playoff picture. So everybody knew that Jordan's last game would be in the regular season against Allen Iverson and the Philadelphia 76ers. Countless media outlets, celebrities, and NBA legends were in attendance to see MJ's last game and celebrate his illustrious career. However, unlike Kobe's, Jordan's farewell was only glorious during the pregame festivities. In the game itself, Jordan struggled, scoring just 15 points on 6 of 15 shooting, while Washington ended up losing the game 107-87. Wilt Chamberlain.
I mean,
In the 1972-1973
nobody really cares, to be
season,
honest.
Chamberlain
He was
averaged
old, so he's all
13.2
good.
points and league-leading 18.6 rebounds. With 73% shooting for the season, he'd also set up a field goal percentage record, which stood for 47 years until Mitchell Robinson shot 74% in 2020. Wilt was still dominant, and with him and Jerry West, the Lakers got another shot at the title. In the NBA Finals, they were awaited by the New York Knicks, whom the Lakers beat in the previous season. This time, it was the other way around, and the Knicks won their second and last championship in franchise history. Sorry to rub it in, Knicks fans. Although Chamberlain didn't know it yet, it was his last appearance in the NBA, and he left the stage with 23 points and 21 rebounds in the final game. Larry Bird.
Injuries,
The last
huh?
basketball game Bird ever played was the gold medal game against Croatia at the 1992 Olympics. His last NBA game happened several months earlier, in the second round of the playoffs. Bird was 35 at the time, and he was hampered with a back injury that limited him to only 45 regular season games. Despite the fact he had to stretch for 2 hours before each game to even be able to run, he still averaged 20.2 points,
Ridiculous.
9.6 rebounds, and 6.8 assists, which earned him his 12th All-Star appearance in 13 seasons. The Celtics played the Cavs in the second round, and despite playing the first 3 games without Bird, who also missed an opening round sweep of Indiana, they pushed the Cavs to 7 games. In Game 7, the old and banged-up Celtics couldn't hold on, and the game was a blowout. Bird had 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in 30 minutes of play, when he was not stretching his back on the sidelines. Kobe Bryant. Sometime during the first quarter of the 2015-2016 regular season, Kobe Bryant had published Dear Basketball, a beautiful poem about his love for basketball and his subsequent retirement at the end of the season. The rest of the year turned into a farewell tour, as all the franchises, players, and fans were trying to celebrate one of the greatest players to ever do it. His low-scoring games didn't matter anymore, as we all learned to enjoy the candid, relaxed, and joyful Kobe in his last season. The Lakers were bad that year, and Kobe averaged 16 points per game on 35% shooting for the season.
Damn.
Moments where he looked like Mamba were very sparse. Can you do me a favor? I want you to get 50 in your last game. Shaq challenged his former teammate on Inside the NBA, to which Kobe laughed and said, no way. And then it happened. Filled with adrenaline from the packed Staples Center, his family, and countless celebrities, Kobe went out in style like nobody ever did before him.
Damn,
After he missed
80?
the first 5 shots of the game, he calmed down and started hitting. By the end of the third quarter, He had 37, a miracle in itself. But Kobe was far from done. In the fourth quarter, he did what he had done so many times. He carried the Lakers to victory, scoring 23 more points, making one tough jump
It was
shot
70.
after another. He outscored the entire Jazz team in the fourth. And bear in mind that Utah was fighting to
Bro,
get
what
into
just
the
happened to the
playoffs.
audio, bro?
From the LA crowd, who knew they witnessed one of the best performances in basketball history. Bryant set some records in that game, and the 60 points he scored on a career farewell is the most ever.
Oh, it was
No player
60.
before
I thought it
him
was 80.
scored even 30 points in their last game. What else can I say? Mamba out, said the emotional Kobe, leaving the game he loved all his life and the career where he gave his all for 20 years. Tim Duncan. While we were watching the last game of Tim Duncan's career, we didn't 100% know that it was his last game, but we all suspected it. Duncan, who turned 40 in April of 2016, entered the playoffs after the worst
Nigga came back 5 years later with dreads, bro.
All-NBA year in
I wonder if this
2016,
those are real hair,
showed
bro.
more
I mean,
advanced
maybe
signs
it's
of age in
extension.
2016, averaging just
I don't know why. It just doesn't seem like someone that
series
can
against
grow
the
that much
Oklahoma
hair,
City
bro.
Thunder, Duncan struggled, and it was clear that his mobility and athleticism are a thing of the past. He did manage
It's
to score
definitely
19
extension. It
points,
gotta be.
5 rebounds, and
Not like it
a block
matters or
last
anything.
game,
I'm just
which was
saying.
his best game of the playoffs. Before he left the floor and headed to the locker room, quietly and without any fanfare, Timmy raised his hand in the air, signaling that he had just checked out of the NBA game for the last time. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul had one of the longest NBA careers and was productive even into his 40s. The Lakers had won 2 titles in a row in 1987 and 1988. And Kareem, who would turn 42 during the 1989 season,
How
said
can you
that
even
this
do
was
that?
his last campaign. The whole season turned into a farewell tour for Kareem, with opposing teams paying tribute to one of the most dominant players to ever step on the hardwood. The tour culminated in the last regular season game at the LA Forum, where the Lakers gave Kareem an oversized rocking chair, with Pat Riley, Magic Johnson, and others delivering heartfelt speeches, and Kareem's son singing the national anthem before the game.
Damn.
Because the Lakers were a playoff team, his real last game happened in the 1989 NBA Finals, where the Lakers would get swept by the Pistons.
God
avenging their
damn.
loss from a year before. Magic got hurt during the series, and Kareem was 42, and he couldn't have helped the Lakers
42.
with 12 and a half points and
What?
5 rebounds in 4 games.
And still averaging
Before he rode off
12
into the
points.
sunset, Kareem notched 7 points and 3 rebounds in his final game. Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson shocked the world in 1991.
But retired
retiring from the
once.
NBA because he contracted the HIV virus. He was 31 at the time and still in his prime, just coming off a loss in the 91 finals against the Chicago Bulls. But basketball remained his passion, and Magic could not stay away. First,
Wasn't that because of
the
women, bro?
1992
Some shit like
All-Star
that?
game in
Sleeping too many
Orlando
with
with
too
an
many
emotional
women?
performance that earned him the game's
Freaky ass
MVP.
nigga, bro.
He was then a part of the 1992 Dream Team at the Olympics, and he wanted to return to the NBA for the 93 season. However, he opted against the comeback when some of the NBA players expressed fear about competing against someone who had HIV. After a short stint as the Lakers head coach in 1994, Johnson finally made his comeback as a player in 1996. Noticeably heavier and a bit slower, Irvin still showed that there was a lot of magic left, as he averaged 14.6 points, 6.9 assists, and 5.7 rebounds as a power forward, leading the Lakers to a 22-10 record in 32 games played. The ending wasn't so sweet after all, as the Lakers lost in the first round of the playoffs, with internal problems within the team. Magic's stat line in the final game read 8 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists in 30 minutes of action. I'm going out on my terms, something I couldn't say when I aborted a comeback in 1992, Magic said in his retirement announcement. Hakeem Olajuwon. After he had spent 17 years of his NBA career as a Houston Rocket, where he was a 12-time All-Star with 2 NBA titles, Hakeem Olajuwon signed for the Toronto Raptors, who offered him more money. It was weird to see Hakeem in a Raptors jersey, just like it was weird to see him averaging 7 points per game. The
Damn.
Raptors had a good team, but without an injured Vince Carter and the aging Olajuwon, they lost in the first round of the playoffs to the Pistons. Hakeem played just 15 minutes in the deciding game of the series, scoring 8 points with 4 rebounds. Bill Russell. The 1968-1969 Celtics were not considered to be championship contenders due to their age, and only the 4th best record in the East. Despite low expectations, Boston had beaten Philadelphia and New York on their way to a new finals appearance. In the finals, they were met by the Lakers, who previously had all-stars Jerry West and Elgin Baylor on the team.
Legend
Now they
Jerry
also
West.
added the biggest star of them all, the amazing Wilt Chamberlain. Nobody expected the Celtics to win, even after they pushed the series to a Game 7. The Lakers were so sure of their victory.
I'm pretty sure
they
Celtics
placed
end up winning.
thousands of balloons under the roof to celebrate their first championship since the team moved to California. But that celebration did not happen, and the balloons were never released. Led by player-coach Bill Russell, the Celtics won 108-106, which was their 11th title in 13 years. Russell scored just 6 points, but he grabbed 21 rebounds and dished out 6 assists in one of the biggest surprises in the history of NBA Finals.
Damn. Sheesh. Too cocky, bruh.